Hi everyone, so as you can tell, I'm not at the garage, not with the car. I'm actually at work, stuck here due to the coronavirus. So I thought I'd keep going. I've got a lot of footage I filmed when I was with the car, which I expected to go back to and do the little bits to camera and fill it all in, ready to make an episode out of. I can't do that at the moment, so I thought I would just do a bit of piece to camera when needed to explain what I'm actually doing in the videos. So this will be episode 8, when I got the fuel tank back, having had the holes welded in it that were there when I got it from Dax, which I've explained in a previous episode where I fitted the tank, put some fuel in it, and it leaked out, just bad welds in the corners. So I dropped the tank out, gave it to a friend, Gareth, who was doing the welding for me. He repaired the corners and did a little bit in some other corners that looked a bit weepy. And yeah, so this what's coming up is the clips of where I got it back and I went through the process of filling it, calibrating the fuel sensor, and yeah, let's see if there's anything else that needs to be said at the end. Tanks just came back. Gareth just dropped off, did the welding, which is great. He actually found a couple more holes around the top side, so he's gone over some of the welds, just put a bit of bubble on that's one of the corners. Let's roll it over. Bottom bit. So that's the corner that was weeping most, and then this one is just filled in. So it wasn't the nicest job, but it's now sealed. So it's filled in. Looks horrible. Looks like bird shit, but that's it. Won't leak now. So yeah, I think I'll get the tank back underneath the car, get it back into place. A few days later, and we're back in exactly the same place we were then. So that is the fuel tank back in, lines tightened up, drain plug in, the vents on, the fuel filler on with a Jubilee clip at the bottom. Stop me from making any leaks when I put the fuel in later. Earth strap on, and all the cables routed. Hey, right, okay, so welcome back. So now the fuel tank's back in, having been welded and connected up, I'm ready to now do the fuel filling again. So what you're going to see me do now is got the multimeter set to ohms to measure the resistance, and that's hooked up to the sender unit. So I'm going to put in 5 litres at a time, and every 5 litres I'm going to take the resistance reading and I'm going to write it down, because I'm going to have a small calibratable or programmable fuel sender unit, which I can program in set amounts. I think there's 5 settings I can fill, so empty, 3 different settings, and then full. So I see how many litres exactly the tank takes, and obviously I'll have all those readings. So the aim is now just to fill it up with fuel, go to Tesco's and keep coming back with as many cans as I can, and 5 litres at a time. Actually, just about to put some fuel in, having a bit of an idea, because I've got a 2-gallon can, and I've got gallon cans. Each one's got exactly 5 litres in from the fuel station. So I don't know how much 5 litres of that is, obviously. So because I can see through the plastic, I'm going to draw a quick black line on them with pen to mark out exactly where 5 litres is. So when I pour this into them, I know I'm going to get exactly 5 litres, so I'll do this accurately. So yeah, once I've done that, then I'll start pouring them in. I just thought it might be worth showing you how I did that, because you can just about see through. I thought, well, I'll make it a bit more accurately. So if I shine a torch on it, there you go, you can see that the lines are pretty much spot on. There we go. Right, now I'll start pouring it in. This is strange, because so far we've got 25 litres in there and the same 0.3, 0.36. It literally hasn't moved. I know for a fact that the sender unit does work, because when the tank was out and I plugged it in, had just what I was moving the fuel gauge. It didn't move smoothly. So yeah, but I expected to have some kind of reading, because 25 litres, 5 gallons, I think it's only about a 12-gallon tank. Like I'm expecting to see some reading. So I'm going to keep going, just in case. I don't know why. Yeah, because obviously I can't do anything about it now. Pulling the sender unit out, it's not an easy job. I obviously can't drop the tank without draining all the fuel out. So I'm going to put 2 more gallons in, which is the last tank I've got here. To make it 35 litres, and then we'll see if it's moved at all, and if it hasn't, I need to have a bit of a rethink. Right, I've just worked it out, the fuel tank. I've made a massive mistake. I left the fuel sender wires to the gauges connected while I've been doing this, so the resistance has obviously stayed the same because they've been fucking earthed out. So when I just take the wires off now, I'll turn the camera around if I can. Yeah, by turning the camera around, the resistance now 0.16, and that's with 30 litres in. So what I'm tempted to do is put another 5 in and then see if this continues to rise. And if it does, that means then I've got to drain out what I've got in there, start over again with the wires disconnected, as you see there. What a dick. Anyway, I'm going to try that because that's the only option now. I can't not do it. It needs to be done properly. All right, anyway, I'll catch back up with you in a minute. Okay, so what I thought I'd done wrong, I had done wrong. I just put another 3.5 litres in, which is what I had left in one of the tanks, and it's changed the resistance down to 0.15. So, yeah, I've got to take all that fuel out, which is 2, 3, 4, 5, about 7 gallons. So, yeah, we'll see where we're going to put it. I'm going to have to pump it out because if I open the drain plug, it's going to flood everywhere. I don't have anything big enough to take 7 gallons in one go. So I think I'll use my sump, like extraction pump. I'll clean it up and then pump it back into the cans. Get settled in because this is going to take me a while. Right, okay, I hope you can hear me because it's just started to rain outside. So I've just used a fuel pump and took the line off the carb and put that into fuel tubs. Oh my fuel cans, and I've pumped it by turning the ignition on until it's drawing. Basically, it's not drawing any more fuel; it's just getting a bit of frothy fuel. And now, touching the terminals, it's 0.25. So this is what I consider to be empty, because if the fuel pump won't pump anymore, then as far as I'm concerned, whatever's in there is dead fuel. So I'm going to start again now from 0.25, and I'm going to start putting in 5 litres at a time, because whatever is in there is just dead to me. So yeah, let's start this one again. Right, so I'm 30 litres back in again, and you'll see the figures are a lot better now. There's actually consistency from 0.26 to 0.15, which is about half tank, I think. I'm not sure. Obviously, look at the figures before. You should know there was something wrong immediately. Okay, so I'm going to go back and get a second set of tanks filled, fuel cans filled from Tesco's, and then, yeah, come back and keep going. Right, hopefully you can hear me because the rain's really kicked in now. So that's 55 litres in there from the 0 point, which is obviously where the pump stopped pumping, as I explained earlier. If you look down inside the pipe now, my LED torch, you can see the fuel levels about an inch below the overflow pipe, which is that pipe there. So it's about here somewhere. So I think it's still got a little while. So I've got a couple more gallons to go. So we'll see what actually fills it up. Right, okay, so I filled it now. That was about 62 litres, 62.5 litres above absolute zero. So now I'm going to show you there. So if you see the fuel, so that fuel line is just above the overflow pipe, the return pipe that comes in from the top of the tank to let the bubbles out. So yeah, that's it. So from underneath you can see that the fuel level is now about here, which is over the tank. Loads and loads of bubbles and froth came out of this thing from the corner of the tank as it was filling up. The sender unit's not leaking from the top. There's no leaks from the bottom. Yeah, happy days. There's nothing on the floor, which is a big change from a week ago when we did it. So I'm going to take the final reading on the ammeter and see what it is. Right, so that was me doing the fuel tank and doing the making the mistakes that I made, but I've never done this before, so you make mistakes, you learn from them. So yeah, you see now that the fuel's now filled. What I didn't film was getting a multi-gauge matcher. I think that's what it's called, from Carbon Solutions. And then because I took the resistance readings, you're enabled to put those into the little brain in the box, and that then tells the gauge which position you have for empty, full, and then 3 positions in the middle there. So yeah, I did that, and the gauge works absolutely fine now. It's a tiny little black box which I've tucked up behind the dashboard near the fuel gauge. And that's pretty much it then. And I started working on the fuel filler. I put some Jubilee clips around the fuel pipe to seal that. So yeah, that's that video complete, and I'll see what else I'll make while I've got time stuck on lockdown. So enjoy yourself. See you later.